Ukraine is expected to dominate the discussions at the G7 summit, as the leaders of the world's richest democracies pledge to support Ukraine against Russia's aggression and blockage of food exports. Here is what you need to know about this crucial topic. Ukraine has been at war with Russia since 2014, when Russia annexed Crimea and backed separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine. The conflict has killed over 14,000 people and displaced millions more. In November 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, breaking a fragile ceasefire and escalating the crisis to a new level of danger. Russia has deployed over 100,000 troops, tanks, artillery, and missiles along the border and inside Ukraine, and has carried out airstrikes and cyber attacks against Ukrainian targets. Russia has also imposed a blockade on Ukrainian grain exports, which account for about 15% of Ukraine's GDP and are vital for global food security. The blockade has caused a humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and other countries that depend on Ukrainian grain, such as Egypt, Turkey, and Pakistan. The blockade has also triggered a surge in food and fuel prices across Europe and the world. The G7 summit in Germany is the first opportunity for the leaders of the United States, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom to meet face-to-face since the Russian invasion. They are expected to announce more sanctions against Russia and military aid for Ukraine, as well as a $600 billion infrastructure plan to counter China's influence in emerging economies. The G7 leaders will also hold their first talks on a common regulatory approach to artificial intelligence, AI, which is seen as a new threat that could destabilize global security and human rights. They will discuss how to ensure that AI is used for good and not evil, and how to prevent authoritarian regimes like Russia and China from exploiting AI for their own interests. The G7 summit is followed by a NATO summit in Madrid, where more than 30 allies and partners will join the G7 leaders to reaffirm their commitment to collective defense and deterrence. They will also address other challenges such as climate change, terrorism, cyber attacks, and migration. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will address both summits via video link, calling for more weapons, training, and intelligence support for his country. He will also urge the G7 and NATO to grant Ukraine a clear path to membership in both organizations, which he sees as essential for Ukraine's security and sovereignty. The G7 and NATO summits are seen as a critical test of the West's resolve and unity in confronting Russia's aggression and China's rise. The stakes are high for the future of Ukraine, Europe, and the world order.